This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Break through the busiest time of year with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus. Powered by Peloton IQ. With real-time guidance and endless ways to move, you can personalize your workouts and train with confidence, helping you reach your goals in less time. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Spring starts at the Home Depot, and we are bringing the heat to your backyard this season. Fire up the flavor with our wide variety of grills for under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill that's perfect for hosting your spring cookout. Then set the scene and turn your outdoor space into the go-to spot with patio sets for every budget. Bring it this season with grills that deliver flavor and patios that set the vibe from the Home Depot. Start your spring with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Oh, my Lord. What's your dog's name?
Miranda.
Miranda apparently thinks she's a lapdog?
She's not a dog, George. She's a member of the family.
This is the plaintiff, Lisa. She says the defendant's Weimaraner bit her Malta crew named Nemo and then just walked away like nothing happened. Her poor dog was covered in blood, had to get a bunch of stitches, and part of his tail was amputated. The defendants don't feel bad, never even apologized, and refused to reimburse her the $1,957.25 she spent on the vet bills. Some people. These are the defendants, Francisco and Diane Knipping. They say their dog Miranda is not at all aggressive or vicious, and it was the plaintiff's dog that started the fight. That's right, the plaintiff's dog was the aggressor. Their dog was just defending herself. The whole thing was very unfortunate, but they're not at fault, because this was just a case of dogs being dogs. They're accused of a vicious attack.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see it, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
Okay, Lisa and Charles, you've asked us not to mention your last names, and we'll respect that. You are suing Francisco and Diane Knipping?
Yes.
Well, that's unfortunate for this case. For $1,957.25 that you say is owed to you by them because, according to you, their dog attacked your dog.
Yes.
Okay, who's this?
This is Nemo.
Okay, do you have a... There's no dog on that side, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Nemo. Okay, and what happened?
Nemo is a cancer survivor. He just got over 9 months of chemo, big surgery in July.
Congratulations for Nemo.
And he's doing great.
Great.
And my daughter was at our house that day because her boyfriend's mom had passed away that week, and we were sitting
Very
shiver,
sorry.
and I was cooking, and she said she would take the dog out because I said someone needs to take the dog out. So she walked him.
Okay. Were you with her when she walked?
No, I
Come
had
on
to
up.
stay in the house cooking.
What happened?
So I was walking Nemo, and he saw the Weimaraner, and...
Do you have a picture of your dog? What's
Yes,
the
I
Weimaraner
do,
look like?
George. I have 2 pictures of the dog.
Okay, let's see that. And how old is Nemo?
He'll be 10 in April. He's 9 3/4.
How about this shot?
Oh, my Lord. What's your dog's name?
Miranda.
Miranda apparently thinks she's a lapdog?
She's not a dog, George. She's a member of the family.
She's a member of the family, and you're her parent.
Yes.
Okie dokie. That is a big dog. All right. Beautiful dog.
She's about 50 pounds.
How old is she?
4 years old.
Okay. So tell me what happened.
So I was walking Nemo, and the other dog was walking behind us. We turned around.
Was Nemo on a leash?
Yes.
Was the other dog on a leash?
Yes.
Okay.
He saw the other dog, so we turned around, and he wanted to go say hi. And both dogs met up and sniffed each other, and then she bit him. And I couldn't pull him away before
How
she
long
bit
was
him.
the sniffing going on before the bite?
Like maybe under 5 seconds.
And was there any growling before the bite?
A little bit, yes.
Who was growling?
I think they both were.
And who was walking your dog? Come on up. Can you switch with her a second? Okay, what's your name?
Flavia.
Okay.
Flavia Diaz.
And you were walking, what's Miranda?
Miranda, yes.
All right. Did you see her and did you have Miranda on a leash?
Yes.
When you saw that dog, did either of you talk to each other and say, is your dog nice? Is your dog friendly?
She asked me if my dog was friendly, and I said, yes, my dog is friendly.
Okay.
And they both were moving their tails, so they looked happy, both.
And then when did they stop being happy and act like the animals that they are?
Her dog bit my dog on the mouth, and my dog started crying on the grass, and she asked me many times, is your dog okay? Is your dog okay? So she knows that her dog bit my dog first.
Okay, well, what did your dog do when her dog bit your dog on the mouth?
I think he bit her back.
Where did he bite her?
On the back. Like.
Okay, and as it turns out, Nemo ended up needing stitches.
Yes.
How many stitches did Nemo get?
7.
Okay, so you ended up with vet bills to the tune of what?
$1,957 and I think 20 cents.
And all that was for, what did they end up doing to Nemo?
When my husband and the kids got the dog in the car, and when she brought the dog in, I freaked. I was like, I panicked. There was blood on his back. There was blood on his tail. There was blood. He was like dazed. He didn't know what happened. So they called my husband. He came home. They got in the car. And when they were driving him to the vet, we had to go up Woodmere Boulevard. They saw the number of the house where Claudia was going into.
Were you in the car? I'm sorry, were you in the car?
I was in the car.
You were in the
Yes.
car. And so you see the number of the house, how? Because she walks into the house?
Yes.
At that moment?
Yes. Actually, luckily, we saw her walking the dog back. My dad rolled down the window and said, you know, your dog just bit my dog. We're rushing him to the vet. And she shrugged and said, okay, and then just walked away.
She didn't say...
No, didn't apologize, didn't say anything.
Okay.
I honestly wondered
She didn't
if
say your dog bit mine first?
No, she didn't say that. I didn't even see him bite her dog. I honestly was wondering if she even spoke English because she didn't say anything to me.
Okay. So then after the vet, do you knock on their door to talk to them about the bill?
This is what happened. This is what happened. They took the dog to the vet. Of course, they had to put him under anesthesia, which is not okay when you have lymphoma because things bring the lymphoma out. So we left them there. They left them there. My husband came home. We went to ring the bell. First, my husband went to the police.
Okay, you just tell me what happened when you knocked on their door.
Okay, we knocked on their door. There was no one home. There were no cars there. He came back. We came back to the house. Then he went to the police. And the police gave us a yellow card for each party to fill out. And they said that New York state law is if one animal bites another animal, that party is responsible for the medical bills.
It's not quite that simple.
But, okay.
All right, what have you guys got to say about this? They confront you and they tell you your dog, bit our dog and we've incurred $2,000 worth of bills. And what do you guys say?
Well, first the plaintiff came to my house. According to my wife, she can explain to you what happened when she came to...
pounding to my door the 24th.
24th of
when
December.
I opened the door, I thought it was an emergency.
Christmas Eve, this all happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happened on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Christmas Eve, and she was pounding on my door, and so I opened the door because I thought it was an emergency. So she was talking to me like I was 4 years old. Not even that. She was talking to me like she owned my house. Very, very.
What did she say to you?
Well, the first thing she asked me was if I was walking the dog, and I said no, it was my sister. And that my dog beat her dog. I say, I understand that your dog beat mine first. So
did your dog end up having to get medical care?
No.
Okay, go on.
No. So I said to her, and then she told me that I had to go to the police because she went to the police, and she had a bill of $700. I said, you know what? Because I saw her, talking to me so nastily. So I said to her, you know what? I don't have to listen to you. We'll do that, by papers. And that's it. I closed the door on her. Yeah.
She's obviously agitated.
She was talking to me in a way.
What? She's all agitated. She thinks.
I know, but I understand.
You don't have the savvy of how to deal with people. Please calm down. It's Christmas Eve. It's a holiday for us. Can you please calm down? And
Yeah, but she was talking to me in a way that she
According
was
to her, you, come on up. According to her, your answer to things is that true?
She knows that her dog be my dog because I didn't ask for her dog because the one that was crying was my dog, and she was crying very loud. Her was very, very peaceful. And when we saw it in the back, it was just a little spot of blood, not as she said she was bleeding. So I told her, must be from the mouth of my dog, because I thought that she was bleeding on the mouth because she was on the grass, like crying very loud, and she was very first at my dog, not at hers.
Is that true?
No.
Was her dog crying?
Not that I remember. He was.
What's not that you remember? You were there. You're the person I can ask on that side. I can't ask anybody else. I mean,
don't remember her dog crying.
Is that a no? Her dog wasn't crying?
No.
Her dog was not crying?
No.
Ever?
That's why I asked, is it okay? Because...
Okay. You asked if that dog was okay?
Yeah, because mine had blood on it, so I was unsure.
All right, so
it's not true.
Okay. Do you have a picture of the injury to your dog? Just curious.
Our dog didn't suffer any injuries.
Well, she says that dog bit your dog in the lip.
It seems that that's what happened.
But didn't actually puncture or anything?
No.
Okay. So she knocks on your door. We already heard about that. And what happens next?
On the 25th, Your Honor, which I live in a Jewish neighborhood and I respect the Jewish religion. I wouldn't knock on somebody's door on a Friday evening, and I would expect that from the other. I would expect the other people to respect my religion. On the 25th, her husband comes to my door, knocking on my door. He was very nice. He was very decent. And he explained to me that his dog had been bitten by my dog. I said, very unfortunate, I'm sorry. Well, no one came to my house to give us your condolences. I said, well, we don't even know where you live. He says, well, I let you a paper so that you can fill it out, send it to the health department to see whether or not your dog has vaccinations, rabies. Right. And then he said, by the way, you owe me $600, $700, $800. I said, for what? He says, for the vet bills. I said, I'm not going to pay that. And the reason I said that is because where is my negligence? What did I do in the control and maintenance of my dog? My dog was on the leash.
Are you a lawyer?
Yes.
I smell lawyer. I smell lawyer. It took like 2 seconds.
Correct again.
Go on.
So I said, look, I'm not paying your bill.
According to you, however, it went further, and he said, I'm not giving you my vaccination information of the dog.
Let me go. Can I go back a little bit?
No, go ahead and take it from there. That's really
well. I just want to say that when I knocked on her door,
we're going to go back anyway, aren't you?
I have to go back.
Go ahead.
I have to go back because it didn't happen the way she said. I knocked on her door, and I said to her. She looked at me and she said, "Yes." I said, "I'm the person whose dog your dog bit." I said to her, "Were you walking the dog?" She said, "No." And I was really upset. We did knock on their door 8:30 at night, Sunday, on the day that it happened again. There was no one in the house. The dog wasn't even in the house, but there were cars in the driveway. So I'm sorry it was Christmas Eve, but,
Well, you're not that sorry because you came back on Christmas Day.
No, I didn't. My husband did.
Well, yeah. That is a kind of a holy day of obligation for Christians.
I apologize.
Okay, but go ahead.
Their religion.
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
Did you hear the accent? What are the odds? Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, she said to me that her dog should not be near other dogs because she is
aggressive. By the way, you do know, though, that most of America celebrates the 25th, right? Like, the odds, even if you hadn't heard their... Just a minute.
You're right.
Just a minute. The odds were, even if you didn't know and weren't guessing, that maybe the 25th is not the day to knock on someone's door for a confrontation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But like you said, we live in a Jewish neighborhood.
It doesn't matter. What you live in America. You know, right?
Okay.
Okay,
What
come on.
happened was
it was a big surprise it was Christmas? Go ahead.
So I said to her, she said to me, well, my dog should not be around other dogs because she is aggressive.
Who said that?
What? Yes.
Okay,
she said that to me.
Watch this. Did you ever say my dog should never be around other dogs because she's aggressive?
That to me.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So is the defendant responsible for the plaintiff's dog's injury?
No, I don't think so. I think even in the wild, animals approach each other, things happen. So I don't think that they're responsible.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they're responsible either.
Why?
Well, I think it just, like she said, it just happens sometimes. It's just a kind of a courtesy.
Both dogs on a leash. The plaintiff's dog walks up to the defendant's dog.
I think he is responsible because you got to know your dog. You got to take control of your dog. If the dog's not friendly, you know that right away. Pull your dog back.
Yeah, but the dog is not necessarily not friendly. It's just sometimes dogs get in fights and you don't know who's the aggressor because it just kind of happens.
Well, I don't know. I think you got to take control of your dog somehow.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I said to her also, I told her about the medical bills, and then I said to her, and who walks away from a bleeding dog? Because when Jody brought Nemo into the house, there was a lot of blood. A lot of blood.
You didn't take pictures then, right?
You know what?
You weren't
I was
thinking of
so
that.
stressed
I got
out
it.
over it.
Right.
I was freaking out,
Okay.
so.
Let me ask you a question, because this fascinates me. I know you think that dogs are human and a part of the family and my child and everything, but they're not. They're property, okay? And I know we love our dogs, okay? But the dogs are property. When we talk about the negligence in a dog bite case, we are not talking about the dog's actions. The dogs are animals. We are talking about the human action. Do you understand? So what we look at is what did the human do that made them negligent? For example, did they put up a fence that didn't keep the pit bull in? We look for, do you think that your supremacy over your dog and your command of them is so high that you don't even walk your dog on a leash? You know, you think that you'll just call him and he'll come back, so you're big man on campus and not even having a leash. We look at whether you know your dog has bitten people before, and do you have any evidence that dog has bitten anybody? Or any animal or human? Okay. We look at whether your dog has bitten anybody before. We look at, whether you should have had your dog in a muzzle, given what you knew about your dog. We look at the human conduct. I got two people walking their dogs on leashes who both, according to their testimony, allow the dogs to interact. Sometimes it ends well. I don't really see what that interaction does to improve my dog's day, but all right. Sometimes it ends well. And sometimes, folks, it doesn't. And when it doesn't, I need to figure out, when I have a lawsuit in front of me, what did that side do wrong? So what did that side do wrong? They're walking their dog on a leash. You have no evidence that that dog has ever been aggressive to anyone else. And your daughter comes up, which happens every day, and says, is he friendly? Yes, friendly. Dog's friendly. Dog's friendly. Dog's always been friendly. And boom, boom, and then the dogs just are animals.
I've seen their dog. She hasn't. I walk the dog on the weekends, and she is aggressive.
Really?
She has.
You know what I find
aggressive.
fascinating? That you've had I don't know how many opportunities to say such a thing, and never once in your complaint did you mention that until I started reasoning with you. I am sorry that you ended up with this bill. I am sorry that the dog was already suffering from something and had to go through this other traumatic experience, okay? But at the end of the day, I have to see and rule that they gotta cough up $1,000 to you if they did something wrong. And if they're walking their dog, and this is a normal encounter between two dogs, they didn't do something wrong. And if it's true that you were very nice and stressed and they were very, who cares, get out of my house, that's really bad, but you know what? If that's true, it's just manners. It's not something where you get $1,000 for. And if it's true that she was screaming out to treating you worse than a 4-year-old, that's very sad too, because I kind of think that in a situation like this, people who love their dogs should kind of be more understanding of somebody who also loves their dog, and there shouldn't even be the hostility between the humans, but alas, sometimes the humans don't act any better than the dogs do, and we can't help ourselves. However, in this situation, I have one issue to solve, and it's not anybody's manners, it's whether or not that side was negligent, resulting in that side's injuries. I'm going to assume, for the sake of this argument, that their dog bit your dog and your dog didn't even bite their dog. Do you understand? I'm assuming the facts are exactly as you say. I'm not, we're not going to split hairs and figure out who was the aggressor. I don't have to do that with dogs. They're dogs. They're dogs. So if her dog just bit your dog, but was on a leash and had no aggressive behavior in its past, if you can't prove it, then you can't prove that they did something negligent. We're allowed to walk our dogs, and our dogs are allowed to be dogs. To find negligence, you would have to be able to prove that they did something wrong. You cannot. My verdict in this case is for the defendants.
All right, both parties, please hold on.
So Nemo leaves the courtroom on the losing end of this decision. Come on, step on in here, hey, Nemo. So how are you feeling about the outcome? I mean,
I'm quite angry. I'm
Step
quite
a little bit
angry.
next to her,
Very angry because
Why?
this dog is aggressive.
Why'd
And
you
I've
wait-
seen her.
you didn't say that until like you were about to leave the courtroom. Plus, you have to prove it anyway.
I have to prove it.
Yeah.
Their son, and
Witnesses
they
and-
were incredibly rude and nasty. They slammed the door in my face. They didn't care that the dog was bit. They didn't even apologize. There was nothing said.
Nemo's ignoring me. Oh, that's more
Hi,
like it. Okay.
puppy. They
How
were
is
not
Nemo?
a-
How's Nemo?
Nemo is great. Nemo's a cancer survivor. Nemo is
All right,
you
good.
know, but
On
he
we go.
suffered.
All right. Well, Nemo's okay now, and that's great. All right, head right down this way. So the judge smells a lawyer, and he wins anyway, because the law is what it is. And she found that you didn't do anything.
Exactly. It was an unfortunate incident, and I'm very sorry for her dog. But the way things developed, the way that we treated each other, ended up in litigation. And that is unfortunate. Had they come to my house with a different attitude, I probably would have said, let me report it to my insurance company, and my insurance company would have paid. But they came to my house. You got to pay me $600-700 for the vet bill. That is not the way.
That's not the way to treat a lawyer. Harvey?
Here's the deal. If a dog bites a person, in many states, there is automatic liability, period. But in this case, you have two dogs. You have to prove negligence in order to recover money. And in this case, a plaintiff couldn't prove the defendant was negligent. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Introducing Shark Facial Pro Glow, a first-of-its-kind at-home facial. Pro-level extraction removes impurities, and dual-temperature technology boosts radiance and deep puffs with both Insta-Heat and Insta-Chill technology. Treat yourself to a hydro-fueled glow in minutes. And because Shark Facial Pro Glow fits in the palm of your hand, you can get that luminous post-spa glow anywhere. Visit sharkbeauty.com to learn more.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
This is the plaintiff, Irene Chabior. She said she hired the defendant to install a vinyl fence, and he didn't put the thing into the ground properly. She knows this for a fact because a few weeks later, the wind blew the thing over into her neighbor's yard. When she called the defendant and told him she needed his help rectifying the situation, he disappeared and was never heard from again. She's suing for $2,200, the amount she gave the crooked fence installer. This is the defendant, Paul Pedrosa. He says the plaintiff picked out a cheap fencing from Home Depot, and he usually doesn't install garbage, but he agreed to help the lady out. He did a great job installing the thing, but they had a very freak-high windstorm a few weeks later, and the thing fell over due to its poor quality. Bottom line, he did a top-notch job and deserves to be paid. He's accused of not being very sturdy.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant screwed up the installation of a vinyl fence, but the defendant says it was a crappy fence, so it's the plaintiff's problem. It's the case of he just doesn't know where to stick it.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Irene Chabior.
Yes.
You are suing Paul Pedrosa for $2,200, a refund of the price of a fence that you paid him to put in that didn't last very long, according to you. What happened?
Correct. Well, yeah, on November 21st, I had called Cape Cod Fence Company because I want an estimate for fence, cedar fence. So he says, oh, my boss is going to call you. So in 2 days later, he called me back, and he said that it's a small job, so the boss not going to take. So he said he could install the fence for me.
On
so
the side, like just a side job that he would
because
do.
He said they don't have much work, and they send him home, and he needs money. So I said, okay, come to my house. I'm going to show you what I want, and you're going to tell me how much it's going to cost me. So he came over with his cousin, and he looked, and he said, why don't you get a vinyl fence? Which I said, okay. I said, vinyl is expensive. He goes, no, vinyl went down, and you could get a good vinyl, a decent price, a little bit more money than cedar. So I agree. He gave me $2,200 price for the fence with no removal.
Why are you laughing?
I'm nervous. Yes, right.
Get her some water, will you? Okay, go ahead.
And he even told me gonna be much better fence than my neighbor has, which my neighbor has like for 15 years. So I said to him, okay, I like the vinyl fence. And he said, well, we do vinyl, we cement the post, and it's, like life warranty. So he says, right now, we sign a contract, and we agree that I'm gonna give him $1,100 deposit. And
Can I see the contract?
Yes.
So you do give him $1,100 as a deposit?
Right. And he's supposed to get the fence.
Oh my goodness, just a little, okay.
Yeah, that's the contract.
Just kind of a blank receipt. Yeah. Okay.
And then he agreed in case anything gonna go wrong, he will come and fix it.
Fix due to weather on the fence.
Yeah, so because he guaranteed, he said the only way the fence will go down if I drive my car through. It's a solid job done.
Okay.
So a few weeks, probably a week and a half.
Did you watch him put up the fence?
Yes, and one thing I did
Did he pour concrete into?
No. One thing I really, I'm as a woman, I know you get a concrete, you get a wheelbarrow, you mix it with water.
Did you say I'm just a woman? Is that what you said?
Yeah, and I know more than he does.
Okay, well, yeah, that's usually how it goes, so I'm not sure what that phrase means, but okay.
And you dig a hole, and you put it in, and then
wait. When he's putting in the posts for the fence.
What he did, his wife took a bucket of water, she put the water, and he put the dry stuff inside. So what kind of mixture is that?
Okay, so he poured something in there, but but it wasn't mixed outside.
No.
Okay.
Another thing I want find out, that it's supposed to dig 36-inch deep, and I have pictures. It's only 10 inches deep.
Let me see that.
And he cut the rest, so those posts are no good. And I learned this how you install the posts.
Okay, let me see all that. What's going on?
She's right, Your Honor, in somewhat. I know that piece of paper you have over there doesn't match this one.
Let me see.
Nothing says guaranteed or anything. My thing was...
No, she says you wrote on the back.
All right, maybe yes I did.
That sound familiar now? Okay.
My thing is, I usually tamp the post.
Wait, but what were you gonna say?
No,
I didn't guarantee it, so the heck with her?
No.
By the way, what happens?
2 weeks later, a little bit of wind. I get up in the morning, I look outside, and I see my fence going back and forth. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was early. I put my glasses, I'm watching my fence. I call him, no answer. So I look again after breakfast. Everything fall apart. And I call him again. I said, shh, fence all over. He didn't ever call me back. Then I knew he's not going to come and fix.
Right.
And so I did not ask for fence from Home Depot. If I want a fence from Home Depot, I call it, they will bring it, probably install it, and I won't be here.
Right.
No fence, no money, and all the dents on the brand new fence, 2 weeks old. It's not like something...
Well, she didn't have much luck with this, so I don't know what you mean sarcastically, good luck with that.
So if the fence blows over in an ordinary kind of windstorm, is that kind of evidence that it was installed improperly?
Well, not necessarily. It is, but it could be an act of God. However...
Well, an act of God has got to be a big...
It had to be something very big. I'd probably say, it wasn't installed properly.
Make a decision, for crying out loud.
I mean, it probably wouldn't have been...
Give me a yes or a no.
No.
Okay, there you go. What do you think?
God. No, I don't think so, because it is the wind, and I feel that...
No, but if you get a new fence and the wind blows it down, I mean, isn't that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, the guy should cover his work. I mean, come on, it's a new fence.
What do you think? You're going to get the last word.
I think that, it is ordinary wind. If it does fall down over kind of an ordinary wind,
Yeah, but this is a pretty new fence.
Then it wasn't installed properly.
It wasn't installed properly. It's like pulling teeth here today, going inside the courtroom.
What happened?
Well, Your Honor, I said to this young lady, and she's an awesome lady. I'm not going to say she's not. I said to her, you can get good quality fence for $275 a panel, or you can get Home Depot for $120. She said like this, I'll take the Home Depot. So now when the Home Depot truck pulls up in her yard, how can you not see a big truck that says Home Depot with the cement?
What difference does that make? The problem is not Home Depot. Home Depot sells to millions and millions of customers
it's a cheap material.
The problem is how this was put in.
All right. No.
How deep did you make these posts?
Some of those posts are shorter just because she has a huge tree in her yard and she wanted the perfect straight line. So I told her I only can get 10 inches on some of them, but I'll pour the concrete through the top of the post. And she was fine with that. She watched me through the whole thing. I tamp a post first and then I cement it.
Then why did it last a month?
Because where she's pointing out to near the tree, the roots are like that. I only could get 10 inches in there, and I told her on a windy day to be careful because that's going to come down. I left
Be
her.
careful. What's she supposed to do? Hey, when you told her, here, to give me my $2,200. But by the way, on a windy day, be very careful.
No.
What's she gonna do? Go out there and hold it with her body?
You paid for. I could have put a panel in her yard that cost.
You know that the problem wasn't by the tree, however. The problem was like 10 feet away from the tree.
Right, where that panel blew out, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
exactly what? There's no tree there. What are you talking about? Exactly. How does that
see
prove
that picture? And I'll point it out to you.
Yeah, I want you to explain to me why this would not be 36 inches. The tree's way out here.
This is where I would have the problem. But see what this panel is? They're going to blow out because that's Home Depot. It's not riveted in the tops there. I left her a few of these panels, and I told her that's what would happen. I left her a few in her shed there with a post. In case anything was to happen, I told her I would come back and fix it. My phone ended up getting lost, so I shut it off. But when I received the paper for court, I gave her a call and told her all she had to do was get in touch with me, and I would have swung by there and fixed it.
How are you
that
gonna fix
post
it?
ain't on the ground. What do you mean? All you got to do, these boards are separate. That's a top rail.
Okay, everything what you're saying would be fine if this was a straight line. Look at it. Look how it ended up.
You know why?
Why?
Because I had to do that over there because the roots were so big because of that tree. This pocket.
Listen, you basically what you're telling me is I had to do a really bad job and charge $2,200 and it would only last a month.
What I'm telling
2
you
weeks.
is.
Hold on, go ahead and go back.
You can go back, but just don't talk.
She got what she paid for.
Oh, she got what she paid for?
Right.
I don't know. Looks to me as she got a fence for a month.
Oh, then that's what she paid for.
Are most people willing to pay $2,200 for a fence for a month?
Do you see a contract that says that it was going to last 10 years?
I'm going to apply a contract that says that when you charge somebody $2,200, it should last a little longer than a month.
Oh,
do you think that's reasonable or do you think that's unreasonable?
No, unreasonable. First of
you
all,
think it's unreasonable?
Yeah, first of all, before I put...
Does your boss know that you're doing
Listen,
side
first of
jobs
all-
and souring people like this?
Yeah, he knows everything. All right.
Were you fired already?
What? Fired? That's the only complaint I
Did
ever
you
had.
ever call the boss and tell the boss?
I went.
He ain't gonna return a call.
Closed, yeah.
The company closed down?
Yeah.
Cape Cod fence is
because
closed
it's
down.
winter.
Oh no, they're open. He says they're open. Go ahead and call again.
I went there, Yana.
He
I
won't
went
deal
there.
with her because of the person
drove
she
there.
is.
I went.
And what happened? What does she do wrong?
Yeah.
She's miserable.
How is she miserable?
Because she wants it. She wants top quality fence for $1 price.
She just wants it to last longer than a month.
Yeah, but on that material, the winds don't go. We had 50, 60 mile an hour
Then don't
winds.
put that material
That's
in.
what she
it
wanted.
wasn't 50, 60 miles. I pulled the record of that day.
Oh, did
there
you?
were gusts of 40,
What day
and there
was
were
that?
no. You stop. There were sustained winds of 18. So no, there was no hurricane that day. It blew over when someone went.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Pay the
her.
lady back her money. No,
Yeah,
$2,200 in court cost verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Spend a moment out here. And all right, so the defendant's out here in the hallway, and what's...
Hey, could I? This lady's crazy. She doesn't
Well, you
know.
said she was an awesome lady. You know,
She is.
She's awesome.
She plays the role pretty damn good, you know. I guess it's the hairdo. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but arguing with the judge in there is not. It's not a good way to.
You're absolutely
defense,
right. I don't
right?
got
How'd
paid-
that work out?
No, I lost in that part, but you know,
Okay.
it's all good. We all leave here happy.
All right,
She goes
okay,
her way,
all
I
right.
go my way. I'll take my
All
fence
right,
back. Hey,
okay.
do I get my fence back for
All
the
right, we'll check
2200?
that out for you. We'll check
All
that
right.
out. All right, head right down this way. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so come on in here. I don't know. Are you? He says you're awesome. Then he says something else.
Well, he the one that put cheap fence. I asked for good fence, and Judge Billian, beautiful. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome, Harvey.
Okay, short and sweet. The fence goes back to the defendant. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that shoe too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
This is the plaintiff, Lynn. She says she was sitting in her parked Mercedes-Benz reading a book, waiting for her child, when all of a sudden her car shook violently. When she looked up, she saw the defendant trying to wedge his van into the spot in front of her, and he hit her car. The guy begged her not to call the cops, but she did and filed a report. Turns out the defendant's insurance was canceled. She's out $275 in repair costs and is suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Irvin Robinson. He says the plaintiff was pulling out of her parking spot, misjudged the distance between their cars, and she hit him. Then she jumped out of her car, ranting and raving, called the cops, and is now trying to pin it on him for damages he didn't cause. Some people. He's accused of rear-ending the plaintiff.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says she was sitting in her car reading a book when the defendant hit her with his van. But the defendant says that she was moving, trying to wedge out of the parking space when she hit him. It's the case of your wedgie cost me dearly.
Okay, you've asked to be referred to only as Lynn. Lynn, you are suing Irvin Robinson for $275. The amount it's going to cost to fix your car, which you say was damaged as a result of his negligence. Tell me what happened.
Okay, August 24th, I was in my car, parked, keys on the dash, car shut off,
keys on
windows
the dash?
down. Yeah, because I have a smart car, and if you have the windows down, you have to turn the car off or the car will go ding, 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 ding. So I take the keys out, put it on the dash, and I'm reading, waiting for my witness to come out of the store.
Who's your witness to you?
My son.
Okay.
While I was reading, I felt my car
What were you
moving.
reading?
I was reading a book. I have it with me. It's called, I can't remember right now, I'm nervous, but I was reading a book and I felt my car moving.
I think it's 50 Shades of Grey.
I think so. No, it wasn't. No, it's called Some People. No, it's called Some People, Some Other Place. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Some People, Some Other Place.
my
Some
theory,
People,
but-
Some Other Place. Anyway, I feel the car moving. I look up. I see a van coming on the side of my car. He's coming across. He's moving my car. So I put the car.
Moving your car with his van?
With his van.
Oh.
Shaking. Okay. I turn the car on, start blowing the horn. He continues to move.
You have to turn the car on in order to blow the horn?
To blow the horn. So the car, I'm moving, so I turn it on, I start blowing the horn. He continues on into the parking spot. There are two...
Wait, he hits you as he goes into a
He's
parking
sliding
space?
right across my car, going into the spot in front of me.
Okay.
So I get out my car, my witness is coming across the street. While you're out of the car, I said, something happened here. I said, my car was shaking. I want to see, I hope he didn't damage my car. We look down, we see that it's scraped, the front bumper. So I said to him, what's wrong with you? I probably cursed. I don't, you know.
Who cursed?
I probably cursed.
Oh.
I was upset. And I said, look at my car. He says, oh, listen, we don't have to call the police or anything because I have a friend who has a body shop and we can get the car fixed. And at that point, he goes and he gets inside of his van. So I go and stand in front of his van so that, like, that was crazy because he could have pulled off and hit me, but I stood in front of his van.
What's your son doing? Stand up, will you? Stand up. What is your son doing while all this is going on?
I told him to take a picture.
Okay. Did you take a picture?
Yes.
You have one job. Did you do it? Okay. You walk out of where?
Staples.
And was she waiting for you in the car?
Yes.
Okay. And did you actually see this occur or you came after it occurred?
I came after the fact.
Okay. When you come out, what do you see?
I see that his van scraped the front of her
No,
car.
I don't want your conclusions.
Oh,
I want to know what you saw when you came out.
I saw her talking to him.
Okay. And he's already parked in front of her?
Yes.
Okay. And you walk out and you say, what's going on? And she tells you?
Yes.
A bunch of curse words?
Probably.
Probably. Why does everybody say probably? Nobody remembers what she actually said, but they all know that just statistically speaking, it's going to be profanity? Okay. And then what?
Then he said not to call the police. His friend would fix it.
Okay. Is he inside the van or outside the
No,
van?
he's outside, but then he gets in the van, so she stands in front of the van. I take the picture so he don't, just in case he try to leave.
Okay, let me see the picture. So what you're saying is he hit the front of your car as he's going into the parallel park in the
He could have pulled alongside. I think, I don't want to say that
First of all, you're all probably in a fire lane. Are you all in a fire lane?
No. This is parking on the street.
Oh, it's on the street. It's not in a parking lot for Home Depot or Staples or wherever you want?
This is one to an active street.
What happened?
She pulled out while I was coming in the park, and my car was hit, and I came out to see.
Did you see her pulling out?
No, because I was already in my parking slot. And
Okay, so the first time you realize that there's a problem is when...
I felt a bump.
Okay, so if you don't see her pulling out, how do you conclude that she's pulling out?
Because my car was hit.
Okay, so there's only two ways your car can be hit. She can be pulling out or you misjudge the distance, like she says.
No.
And I'm looking at her car in the photograph, and her car is lined up with the car behind it straight. It's not pulling out. The tires are not turned. I don't know. So do you have any evidence that your theory is correct and that she was pulling out?
Well, here's my pictures of the car.
Okay, yeah.
So how many of you, honestly, how many of you have actually dinged a car in a parking space? Come on. Huh? You have?
Yes.
Okay. Did you leave a note for the driver saying what you did?
I just tried to wait, but he didn't came. And
Okay, so you did a little something. What about you?
No, I didn't leave a note.
You feel bad about that?
Kind of. Yeah, now that I'm older. I was younger when I did it, so I didn't do it then.
And you didn't have to pay?
No.
Who else did it?
I've been in the car when someone else dinged it.
But you never did it?
And they never.
Would you leave a note if you did it?
How bad is the ding?
Oh, God, you're so lying. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay, what's that a picture of?
Don't disregard that part. It's
Disregard the other places where you've... Disregard all the other little accidents you've had all over your...
It's a banged-up truck, like
It's
she
a beat-up
says.
truck, but somebody had to do the
Like she
beating.
claims.
What is that?
That's where she hit me at. That's the dent.
Okay. Here's how it works. If she's stationary and you misjudge the distance, you pay. If you are trying to park there and she pulls out after you're in the process of parking, she pays. But I have no evidence of how you say it happened. None. I have her waiting for her son, so the odds are she's not pulling out unless she decided that she didn't feel like waiting for him anymore.
Probably.
Right? Well, probably not. So I can't have you speculating. Where do you get the idea? You didn't see her pulling out because according to you, I didn't know it was happening till it happened and I felt it. And I have the pictures that they take, which I guess they could have doctored up, moved the car back. But that's a lot of sophistication in a moment like that. He says, I'm taking these pictures right when I realize he's trying to leave. And he takes the pictures of the injury to the car, the damage to the car, and it's lined up straight. The wheels are not turned and it's not pulling out. So I ask you again, where is your evidence that she was pulling out? And your answer is, well, she hit me, didn't she? Not you hit her?
No.
Okay. Well, it's pretty clear to me that you weren't moving. You were waiting for your son. Your son didn't even come out until after it was over. Your car is lined up, and he can't even claim to have seen you moving. His only evidence that you're moving is that he's apparently infallible and can't miscalculate when he's parallel parking, which is silly. So I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $275 for the repair. And your court costs, of course.
Let's see what the defendant has to say about this coming out here. Your story kind of didn't do too well in there.
It is what it is. I probably was TV struck, that's all.
Well, I don't know. Wait, those pictures of your truck all banged up, you think that helped you or hurt you?
I'm not quite sure about it. I don't know.
You know, because all those other dents in there are kind of like previous incidents and things, and doesn't make you look like such a good driver.
Good
Possibly.
driver. Possibly.
Possibly. All right. Head right down this way, okay? Follow Officer McIntosh right around the corner there. All right, so you come on in here and tell me how you feeling coming out of here.
I feel that the judge was smart. She made the right decision, and I'm just sorry the man lied. You know, it's sad.
All right, over to Harvey.
Okay, you know what? We talk about this so much in this case. Do not move your car if you're in any kind of an accident before taking pictures. Everybody's got something on their camera. Take a picture before you move the car. The way the cars are positioned, I'm telling you, the way they're positioned, that's the way you reconstruct an accident that determines who wins, loses.
The UPS store is making packing and shipping Easter gifts quicker than ever this year with UPS Air. How quick? Quicker than a walk around the park. Quicker than eating all the Easter candies. Quicker than finding a golden egg that you know is stuffed with cash. When you ship UPS Air at the UPS store, your items arrive on time or your money back. Guaranteed at no extra cost. Exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Send Easter joy on time at the UPS store. Visit the upsstore.com/air guarantee for full details. Terms and conditions apply.